What's up, my nerd?
Welcome, everyone, to the Credible Nerds podcast. My name is Justin, and here to talk to you guys today about the Penguin streaming series that's been released on Max here a couple weeks ago. I've been watching it, and we're 2 episodes in so far that's been released at the time of this recording. And I just got to say, it's great. If you're not watching it, get Max or open it up on your app and watch it. It's been great. So I think it's a worthy successor to the Batman movie that was released in 2022, I want to say, and a couple years ago. And it's a great follow-up to that as we wait for the Batman 2 to be filmed and released and all that. And I think that's 2 more years out. So we got a ways, but a great placeholder for that to continue the interest, the excitement for the version of Batman and Gotham and all that was established in that initial movie. So, but yeah, we'll be talking minor spoilers. Most of it's revealed in the first couple minutes or so. I wouldn't say it's anything too extreme. Hopefully just to pique your interest if you haven't been watching it, and if you have watched it, to kind of get you more excited about it. So let's get into it. Just like I said, it takes place right after the movie. The opening shot is Penguin sitting there looking out the window, and he's hearing news reports of what had happened. Sounds like the day before with the flooding and everything from that the Riddler caused in the Batman movie. So it picks up right there, and it keeps going with his story with Oswald Cobblepot. I think in this one they're calling him Oz Cobb to kind of shorten it down. But so that's a minor adjustment that they made. No big deal, at least for me. So there's a power vacuum in the city of Gotham. As we saw at the end of the Batman, Falcone was killed by the Riddler. And so who's going to take his place? They established that in the first couple minutes as well. And it ends up that due to this power vacuum with Salvatore Maroni, the Falcone's major rival in these gangs of Gotham, has been in jail. That was revealed and talked about in the movie, the Batman movie. And so who's going to step up to take Carmine Falcone's place? And it ends up being that it's going to be his son, Alberto. But he, spoiler alert, skip ahead like 10 seconds or so if you want to be completely spoiler free, but he's killed in the opening 10 minutes or so of the show. And so again, more of a vacuum there. So who's going to take his place? And what happens is Carmine's brother, Luca, ends up stepping up and running the family while this chaos is going on. So also, and you've seen it in the previews and the promo stuff, so this isn't a spoiler, but Alberto's sister, Carmine's daughter, Sophia Falcone, gets out of Arkham Asylum for some murders that she had committed previously. And so she's now showing up, hey, I'm here. What's going on? What can I do to help out the family? That sort of thing. And her character is pretty good. I mean, it's one of the stellar parts of this series so far, with Christina Milioti, I think is their name, that's playing that. She's amazing. And so she's showing up. Her and Penguin kind of not necessarily team up, but they're kind of looking at working together. But Penguin is more invested in that relationship than she is. She basically tells him, I don't need you. But that kind of plays out as it goes along in these first 2 episodes. The Penguin, he's currently working for the Falcones. He was in the movie as well. But he's trying to step up his game, get a bigger role in that business opportunities that they have there with selling the drugs, the drops. That's the big drug there in Gotham right now. And so the Falcones are controlling that market and benefiting off of that. Penguin's a major distributor. He's trying to step up his game and get more power that way, power and money. But he starts to take advantage of the situation there and try to play the Falcones against the Maronis. Salvatore Maroni's in jail, but he's just one of the Maronis. There's, his family is still out of jail and they're running things. He's running things from jail. So they're still involved. They're just not top dog right now. The Falcones are. And so Penguin sees an opportunity there and he's trying to play those two against each other. And that whole thing is established in the first episode, and the last probably 10 minutes of that first episode is really good. That's when I knew I liked it. It's pretty slow as it establishes kind of the world, the Gotham situation with the power vacuum and the characters and who's doing what. So it's not boring. It's just slow paced. But then that last 10 minutes, it's like, whoa, what just happened? That was awesome. So definitely give that first episode a watch, and then it continues on in that second episode as it develops characters. I mean, never really seen Sophia Falcone before in Gotham shows or anything, and so you gotta get to know her, who she is, and what she's all about. And Penguin, we all kind of see him as a pretty powerful character due to past media, past associations with TV shows, movies, comics, things like that. But in this one, he's still in the middle. He's got some power. He's kind of the assistant manager type guy, but he's making a power play. And so we're seeing, I think that's the overall story we're going to get here, is his rise to power, how he becomes a major player, if not the player, in this Gotham mafia underworld. So that's an intriguing concept for me. I like it, to be able to see that character growth. And we're getting that in these first couple episodes with the story building and character development of Oz Cobb. You've probably seen this or maybe made the assumption already that this is kind of it's a crime family drama in the vein of The Sopranos, Goodfellas, etc. That mafia vibe, and it's definitely there, and I like it. I like to see that in Gotham. There's no superheroes or anything like that. Robin, Nightwing, Batman, they're not around. They're around, but they're not showing up on screen. So it's basically, how do these normies, I guess, interact with each other, and how do they strive for power in Gotham, which is, one of the worst cities in DC Comics. And so a lot of drama there, a lot of possibilities for storytelling. Like I said, the first episode, the last 10 minutes were awesome. And up until that point, it was kind of building the story. But you don't get that amazing payoff if you don't have this buildup of story. So roll with it, sit with it, watch it. And then it kind of continues. The momentum picks up more in the second episode. And so I imagine that's the story we're going to get in these episodes. It's not all action all the time. It's, story, characters, and then there's some moments of brilliance and then some payoff there at the end. And then it just gets more intense as this season goes along. So in the second episode, there's a couple more shootouts, more twists and turns, as Oz is trying to manipulate everybody to get to the top, which is fun to watch. And I would say so far, the highlight, the gem of these first two episodes is Sophia Falcone, like I talked about. She's legit crazy. She's you can see it in her eyes. She's trying to hold it together. She just got out of Arkham. She doesn't want to go back. We see a little bit of her time there in some dream sequences as we go along, and it doesn't look like a pleasant place. So she's trying to hold it together. But I predict, some of my predictions about this show, one of them is that at some point she's gonna just, I'm done. I'm doing what I want to do, and there's gonna be some danger there. There's some crises that she has to handle, and she's gonna step up and take control of the Falcones at some point, is my guess. And so I'm looking forward to that, watching this actress, play that out, and I'm sure that'll be a series highlight when she does step up and take over, or at least become a major player in this Falcone family, because now she's just kind of sitting back and trying to find her way, what she's going to do. The Gotham City setting is just like we saw it in the movie, The Batman, lived in, a lot of crime. We've been also doing that, the Batman movie review series. We started with Batman 1989, so you can go back and check that out on our channel and watch that. But one of the critiques that I had of those early Batman movies from the 90s is that Gotham it kind of looked goofy. A lot of circus acts actually in some of those, in Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. So it's definitely the opposite of that. It's more along the lines of the Christopher Nolan type Gotham settings. But I think it's even more grittier than that, which I appreciate, because Gotham is a place you don't want to live. And It definitely comes across that way in watching this show, The Penguin. So we get more of the aftermath of the flooding that was caused by the Riddler in the Batman. There's, that's talked about throughout these first couple episodes. It's a problem. People are suffering because of it, and so Gotham is suffering as a whole. The people there, and it's just a great recipe to create chaos and create opportunities for these mafia crime families to step in and get what they want, which is money and power. So overall, I'm liking these first 2 episodes. I know we're only 2 episodes in, but usually by the end of the second episode, start of the third episode or so, the show starts to gain its momentum and its footing. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and it has great promise. Great. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series as a result. I think it's only going to get better from here out. My only criticism so far, and I think it's just the wrong timing for me to criticize it, but the only drawback I have of the show so far is just there's a subplot with Penguin and his mother. That's kind of, I wouldn't say boring, but I'm not seeing why we have to go to it so much. My guess it's going to come up later in the series. There's going to be something that happens with Penguin's mom, and that's going to be his motivating factor to do more than what he's doing. So I think there's going to be payoff at some point in the series, in the next couple episodes maybe. But for now, it's a distraction. I feel like it slows the story down, and I wish it was maybe more condensed. And I would say that's really the only criticism I have so far of this show. And it's not that they're bad sequences. You really see this human side of Penguin as he visits his mom. He loves her. She loves him. And they got this weird dynamic where she's pushing him to do more as a gangster. So it's kind of like, oh, she's really loving, but she's pushing him to do bad things, basically. But it's interesting to watch, but it does slow the story down, in my opinion. But hopefully there's a payoff, and I'm sure we'll see the reason why that's being portrayed, and it's part of the story. So I'm patient. I'll watch it and go with it. So again, overall, I'm loving it. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for my Credible Nerds ranking of this show in the first 2 episodes. Could change, could get better, could get worse, but my guess is at least stay the same. It's pretty quality storytelling and things like that. I know other places have given it, like IGN, which I don't particularly trust. Or usually if IGN is ranking it low, I know I'm going to like it most times. But the first episode, they gave it a 5, mediocre. So I don't know what they're watching, but in the second episode, let's see, I have it here screenshotted what they did. Let's see. The second episode, they gave it a 7, so they're liking it more, and they gave it a good rating. So I'm a little more positive about this show than I guess they are. And a lot of critics, a lot of people on social media are just throwing out those criticisms. Oh, it's just Sopranos with DC characters, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's still entertaining. I still am enjoying it 100%. So there are the detractors out there, but I'm also seeing a lot of positive comments about it too. So yeah, I think if it's your type of thing, if you want to see some good mafia stories, it's set in Gotham, one of the worst cities in comics, really. I mean, I don't know why people live there, but unless you're one of those mafia guys, because it's pretty bad. But if you like that setting, DC characters interest you, then I think you'll like this one. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Episode 3 comes out this weekend. I'll be continuing to do kind of reviews as we go along with this show, and I'm enjoying it. And so check it out if you haven't. Let us know in the comments. Do you like The Penguin so far? What are you thinking? Is it good? Is it good DC storytelling, or you're not liking it? You're not feeling it? But either way is fine. And we all have our different interests, different opinions. That's totally cool. But check it out. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time, guys.